I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Welcome to the RBC Dominion Securities Western Canadian Showdown. We're very proud to sponsor this event for our community and surrounding area. We wish everyone good curling and best of luck.
All right, here we go. A very pleasant good day and welcome to the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown here in Swift Current, Saskatchewan. At this matchup here today between Kerri Einarson and Serena Gray Withers. This is a C event game, so this is do or die time for both of these teams. And Dave Schmel joined by Jim Nix here, Gerry Kurtz back at our studios in Ontario, and I bet you that Serena Gray Withers and Kerri Einarson, neither of them thought they'd be in this C event this quick.
Yeah, I think that's probably true, Dave. I think especially Serena's coming off of what's been probably a rocky year, a very young team, a university team, but started with a bunch of DNQs, but did win the Alberta Curling Series event, number 2, just a couple of weeks ago, so probably feeling pretty good, and all of a sudden they're 0-2, and not only that, they're 0-2 and playing one of the best teams in the world at 0-2, which doesn't seem like a fair or possible outcome really at this stage, but it's the way it is.
Sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles, as my uncle used to say.
Exactly. Lately in the games I've done, we've had fairly aggressive first ends, which has been a bit of a surprise. It's starting out just a pretty much a normal type first end, but
there was no shortage of action yesterday. My goodness, we've had some great action here in Swift Current. We had fantastic matchups between Team Cooey and Team Laycock last night. Cooey, in typical Cooey fashion, did Cooey things and threw Cooey type shots, grabbing impossible slices of stones and some fantastic touch shot making by all kinds of teams. It's truly been a treat to watch so far this weekend, and looking forward to the rest of it for sure.
yeah, and it's a good field. Like you look at the list of teams on the men's and ladies side, you've got most of the top Canadian men and women's teams, and a few international teams sprinkled in there as well. And just a tremendous field. The ice conditions have been great. They were good last weekend for the event here at Swift Current, but I feel they're better this week. I think they have a little more finish, and that always makes it good. You can do a lot with the rocks, and so it's been good so far, and we've still got a lot to go.
Yeah, I would agree that the ice has a little bit more of an inward finish this week as opposed to last week, but they have not lost that inside out curl, which has made a lot of these shots possible. So we're seeing a lot more center out shots being thrown and digging things out. So the guard placement has had to been paramount so far this weekend. we see we're just running up and down the ice right now.
Yeah, so an indication Kerri obviously wants to just take this hammer through to the second end. Thought she might throw the corner guard up there, but
in the house means we're very possibly moving towards a blank end. I want to thank all of you who are joining us here on Curling Zone and Curling Stadium. We have action all weekend right now. We have a couple featured games going, this one here. And then also we have Michelle Englot versus Suzuki Fujisawa. Both of them coming off of good games last night. Later, our draw later on, following that, we'll be featuring John Epping versus Brad Jacobs. Brad Gushu against Ethan Sanson. And Corey Dropkin, Mike McEwen. Chelsea Carey, Ashley Teveno. I mean, this is star-studded action. So grab yourself your favorite beverage and settle on in. It's going to be a good day of curling here. That hit and roll is made. So, Jim, did you ever think it was too early in the morning for fun facts with Dave?
no, I never did. I've never considered it being too early. And not only that, it's a little bit later here than it is where you are, so I'm good to go.
All right, so Kerri Einarson is from Gimli, Manitoba. What do you know about Gimli, Jim?
Well, I know it's spelled 5 letters and starts with G, and and a lot of people have come from there over the years, so that's all I know about Gimli. You may know a little more.
Well, Gimli was settled originally by about 200 Icelanders that emigrated and migrated over there. They started fishing off the lake, and for 4 generations, fishing remains the major industry. But much to curlers' delight, another product is made in Gimli. What is that, you ask, Jim? Why, thank you.
Yeah, I thought I might come up with it, but go ahead.
I'll give you a chance. No, I'm going to watch this takeout.
Okay.
Something that curlers would really appreciate. Many of them.
I'm going to say Teflon.
Teflon. Well, that's good, but that was actually invented by the DuPont company in Wilmington, Delaware.
Post game, Jim.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, post game. Oh, invented. Wow. Post game.
It wasn't invented. No. You said invented. That's your word.
Okay. No, I don't know. You got me.
Oh, it would be that fine Canadian distilled spirit Crown Royal.
Oh, and I should have known that. I'm a rye. When I drink alcohol, I drink rye and I drink Crown Royal, and I was going with rum, and I knew that couldn't be right.
Yeah, so the distillery there makes a large amount of the Crown Royal before it's blended in Ontario, but it's distilled right there in Gimli. And also barrel aged on site as well. From what I read, 1.5 million barrels.
Wow.
Employs 72 people, that facility does. And in a town of about 5,000, that's pretty significant.
It is.
And Crown Royal, a favorite of almost every barkeeper in the world, because that is where you get your little bag to carry all your little whoozy whatsits and thingamajigs.
That's right.
There's not a bartender in the world that doesn't have a few Crown Royal bags laying around.
Premium. It's a premium product too, so.
It is. As alluded to by its regal purple color. I wonder if they have a royal charter.
I don't know.
Or charter is not the right word, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Of course, we only want people to consume in alcohol responsibly, and if you're legally able to, wherever you are. Please don't misconstrue any of this conversation as that kind of endorsement.
Nope. Especially at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Well, it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah, I know.
Our fans watching the other game, I mean, it's in Hokkaido, it's about 8 p.m. right now, so the izakayas are probably packed watching curling. Brings me up to a time when I was out at a local pizza shop where I have lunch one time, and the Briar or something might have been on, and I had put it on, and now I'm just breaking the fourth wall to some of our fans there. I am not located in Canada. I'm outside of Philadelphia. So curling, while it's popular amongst our curling friends, it's not necessarily as mainstream as we would like. So I put curling up on the television at the pizza shop, and some other folks bellied up to the bar and said, what's this curling? I'd much rather watch paint dry. To which I bought each of the gentlemen a cocktail, and they said, oh, curling, I'm a big fan.
You're personally responsible for 2 additional curling fans in the world. That's well done.
And you know what? To their credit, they became engaged and were asking me questions the whole time. So
yeah,
it is possible I've added a couple curling fans, one beverage at a time.
Well, a couple of years ago, we were going on a trip out of Florida and going on a cruise actually out of Florida, and we were down there a couple of days early, and we stayed at a place fairly close to a sports bar that we could walk over to, and we walked over to it, and 20 cameras or 20 TVs or whatever they have up on the wall, and they actually had curling on one of them, the Curling Night in America, I think it was, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then that lasted, but it only lasted till 8 o'clock or whatever time the basketball game started. Then they switched it. Everything went to something else. But I was pretty impressed they had it on at all. I thought, wow, I can't imagine that.
Yeah, it was an experiment there by NBC, and was put on a couple different clubs, made for television events. It was done once in Minnesota, and once my friends, I believe in Charlotte, hosted it, and they turned that into the studio there.
Yeah.
A few of my officiating friends were the chief umpires.
Okay. Well, we haven't really had any misses in this end, I don't think, to speak of, other than maybe that one rollout early, but
it's been a perfect time for fun facts with Dave and Jim.
It has been.
We haven't even had a chance to jinx anything yet, so I guess I'll give it a shot. Kerri Einarson is going to go with the blank attempt here. Final stone coming up.
It was funny, we had an end like this the other day, and whoever I was working with, and it might have been Rory actually, but commented that it's amazing that how often teams play an end like this, and then the second end, this first rock of the second end, they're ready to go. It's just like, how come all of a sudden you're ready to go and you couldn't be ready in the first end? So I don't know. It's just something. It's a bit odd. I mean, I get the concept of having hammer and wanting to keep it for an end, and developing hammer and even ends, all that. But other than that, it doesn't sometimes make a lot of sense.
Kerri Einarson, final stone of the first. Looking for the blank, and she found it. Blanks in the books. Einarson will have the hammer when we come back. You're watching Curling Stadium.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
Line's Ice Bat has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Stronger agronomics. Better returns. Greater peace of mind. From pre-seed to post-harvest, you can count on the Victory Canola program to keep you
And we're back here in Swift Current, Saskatchewan. It's the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. We survived that blank end without any commentators' drinks whatsoever, and we learned a lot more about Gimli. And now, just like that, both teams are ready to go.
Yeah, we just talked about this briefly at the break. It's amazing how teams in the first end are are not always, but quite often resistant to going at it at all, if you will. And as soon as you turn the corner from page 1 to page 2 and start end number 2, it's both teams are ready to go.
The teams are aware they're playing with the same stones, right?
Yeah. Like they need an extra 15 minutes of practice, sort of thing.
And speaking of practice, I do love the way that the Saskatchewan Spiels handle their practice. Both teams going at once on each side of the sheet. It just makes it go so much more efficiently.
Yeah, I'd never seen that until earlier, quite a bit earlier this year. But at first I thought that was very odd. And then I thought, you know what, in a Bonspiel format where time is, sometimes time is a bit of a crunch, it's a pretty good way to go.
Yeah, our colleague Sean Joyce has said that that's been standard operating procedure for a number of years now in Sask. And I like it. I mean, there's those 2 10-minute practices. They do feel like they drag a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a much better alternative for the players as well to maybe shrinking that practice. I've played it or seen it, been at a number of events where you just get the one rock up and one rock back kind of thing, and this way you can get pretty much the full practice in the same amount of time, really.
So we have one in the house, a center guard up, corner guard trying to draw around it now is Kristen Karwacki.
Yeah, not often you see somebody come around the corner guard from outside in when the guard's on that side of the sheet. But the ice conditions are so good here, you can actually make a shot like that and make it well. Quite often you couldn't do that. And the intern to draw around the other way got choked off by the Grey Withers team. So
we saw last night over on sheet 6, Kevin Kiley asked Tyler Tardy, who's left-handed, to draw around all the way around his outturn side on the opposite side of the house. So crossing all the way over the center line, drawing all the way around. And it was a great shot. And the shots are there, which tells you, yeah, the ice is running beautifully. And credit to the ice making team here in Swift Current.
Big commitment for a club to host back-to-back weekends of events as well. Last weekend wouldn't have been quite as long as this one, but you're basically taking the club out of play for the members for probably 8 or 9 out of the 14-day span. And so you've got to love the game. You've got to like promoting it and hosting events for clubs to do that. So kudos to the club here in Swift Current.
No, absolutely. This one, come on up. They're going to try to tap it up. They do, and they lie shot stone undercover. Anderson's going to dispatch the guard.
A good result for Grey Withers there, but and Kerri can't really get at it without probably rolling out. She doesn't want to leave her another chance to come around, so she's going to get rid of the guard. Never really a bad strategy. It's good to see Shannon Burchard back playing as well. I did their first game in this event, and you could tell that she's such a good player that she's a little shaky in that one. That was probably a good chance that was her first competitive style game of the season. She certainly wasn't quite up to her standards. Nice to see her back anyways. She was off quite a while with that injury.
So was it a hip or a knee? Has to be one of the...
Yeah, I'm thinking knee, but I'm not 100% sure. I think I heard knee. Usually it's going to be, you say hip or knee, and most of the time it seems to be knees.
Well, we see a little bit more shoulder now that brushing is getting
I bet.
better. A couple members of our clubs, our club has had curling-related shoulder injuries, but that's probably also related to the lack of pregame stretching, which all these athletes do, and possibly the consumption of some of those fine distilled rye products.
Yeah. Maybe.
They don't exactly have a hydrating effect, Jim.
No. Lindsay Burgess threw that last stone. That's the third game in a row as an East Coaster that I've done a game that has featured somebody or some people from the East Coast of Canada. Homecoming.
Oh, that's a nifty little shot there.
Yeah, it sure was. And very quietly, Kerri Einarson has to kind of put 2 or 3 in play here. Grey Withers is going to have to be pretty careful.
I mean, you almost want to come around the outside and come off, get those 2 reds, but if you catch it on the corner, it's going to jam on your own.
Yeah.
Or you guard for your life. And, well, frankly, this is scary in a scoreless game.
I wouldn't be against the idea of splitting this yellow also. Just to maybe come across, over curl a little bit and flop in behind the guards and leave yours and play over in the 8-foot.
That's a fine idea. They're going to come on down and talk about it. I think they recognize the bit of a pickle that they're in right now.
Yeah, there's no real good hits. You could hit the outside one, try to make the double on the back one, but even that's not a gimme for sure. It's a shot I definitely would prefer here. The seats are full behind the glass here for an early morning game.
Oh, absolutely. And we've seen the stands on the ice as well. They've taken sheet 1 out of play and installed bleachers. So big time support here in Swift Current for the curling. I'm sure we'll get a shot at that later on. Don't know how many people are braving the cold quite yet. It is certainly not warm in the ice shed from what we can see. This shot coming on down. Gotta try to make that little split. They gotta get a piece of it. Get a piece of it, roll on over. Now, hopefully it spins back and you lie too. Yes, you do.
Yeah, she ended up catching that, I think, a little thinner than she planned. I'm not so sure that that's exactly where they were going to go. I think they would like the one on the center line to have been bumped back a little bit further and rolled a little less, but still, overall, pretty good. Tough double. And not even trying that, I don't think.
This one curling up a good bit. This is just going to be on the nose. It did get more roll than I thought. And that shot stone, Gray Withers lies second.
Good news for Gray Withers that it did roll to a place. It is shot. It's a great shot by Einarson's team. But it did roll to a place where it makes it virtually impossible for them to remove the yellow.
I disagree with you, Jim.
You do?
Yeah, I think if you push that yellow corner guards onto your red there, that yellow red goes onto the yellow all day.
Yeah, that's true.
It's pretty short too.
Yeah. I don't know what the call is here. Do you?
Yeah, well, this is they're going to try to remove these two reds because now with that yellow in there and the way that red curled in, it provides protection so they can make this double takeout without harming their yellow. Coming on down, it's got to stay right there, and there's that double. Yes, indeed. Shot stone for Gray Withers.
Yeah, this is a very good shot. And I was wondering if she was going after the top two or these two, and this was a much better result and a better shot, and she made it really well. Threw it perfect, swept it perfect, just got by the guard.
That right there gets them out of jail. Now Einarson's going to try to draw back underneath the corner and start rebuilding, but one shot just changed the complexion of this end entirely.
Yeah, Gray Withers can breathe again a little bit. It was pretty scary there for a bit.
Yeah, it was that one last corkscrew that made the Einarson shot good there that also made it beneficial to Gray Withers. So it looked good, but it was actually bad. Plenty of options now for Gray Withers. What do you like?
I like to hit this. I like to hit this and roll to the open side. You've got to make sure you roll far enough because Kerri Einarson's certainly known for being able to throw a hit. So if you just roll this to the center line, it's going to be a pretty easy double for her, and you'd be in big trouble. So, and I think it's tough to get the inside roll. So I think I'm just going to hit this, roll to the edge of the 4 foot on the other side. Have to be a little careful here. You do have to get enough curl that you don't clip your own on the way by here.
So the squad from the University of Alberta her first skip rock of the second end. Got a knot. Oh, beautiful. Even gets a little bonus of punching the Einarson rock further back. They lied too.
Yeah, perfect result here. You can see they just swept it. And it was hard to stay on this. They stayed on it, and you get a little nervous you might roll out, but well called. And worked out perfectly. Great situation now for Gray Withers. Amazing program at the University of Alberta. Sorry, Dave. It's we see so many teams come out of that university, and has to be the premier curling program in the country at the university level.
No, I certainly would be inclined to agree with that, just from my limited knowledge. But you know why they were able to call that ice so well? Because both teams, got a feel for the ice during that blank first end.
That's right. That's right. That was the key.
That was absolutely critical to that. So now Einarson is going to look to build the angle here. So if you just hit and stay there, move a little bit, you're going to raise the elevation. And now a return hit has to be really good got to roll far away, or else the angle for the double is going to be there all day.
Yeah, it's an excellent point, Dave. If you just hit that on the nose, I think you'll see Kerri take on the double, even though it'll be a little bit steep, but it would be worth it in the first end to take a chance to get a 3-hander. You definitely want to roll.
You want to keep it around, or else there'll be another shot for 2 available.
Yeah, with the run on the yellow, but
you want to avoid what would be the easier of the 2 difficult shots.
So it'll be up to the third stone, Catherine Clifford, here to call this one as well as she called the first one.
Final stone out of Gray Withers here. It's going to hit and nose. And no surprise, Anderson points directly to the double.
Yeah, that's unfortunately not a great result for the Grey Withers team. They really needed to. I would have went hard enough on that even if I rolled out, I wouldn't be terribly unhappy because the double is there for the 2 yellows for 2, but a little bit risky, and I'd rather 2 than 3. Although this is not a gimme double, it's it's a little bit flatter than some, but it's not a real hard one either for Kerri Einarson. Shots she plays a lot.
Kerri Einarson. With a squad from Gimli, Manitoba. Final stone coming up, end number 2. Trying to make this double takeout to score 3 and take a big early lead. On the 1, roll on over, push it out, and is it good enough? It's good enough for 1 and only 1. It just caught the catcher on the way by, so it'll be a single point for Kerri Einarson. We'll be back after this on Curling Stadium.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like 1 more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Join us this March for the House of Hearts Charity Bonspiel in Duluth, Minnesota. Help raise funds for Project Joy, who provides meals for hungry kids in our community. Every donation helps to ensure no child goes hungry. Join us and make a difference. Together, we can spread joy.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez.
Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
And we're back here in Swift Current. It's the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. Kerri Einarson, single point in the third. And that double takeout, Jim, it just wasn't to be.
No, it looked like it was going to be a better result than it ended up, but just had to be a little thinner, and she gets it just a hair thinner. She makes the double and scores 3. It looked like she was going to get 2 even at that, but because it ran into the back one, that wasn't the case. So Grey Withers, a big escape there at that end.
And thank you for joining us on Curling Zone and Curling Stadium this fine day. Here we go. We're going to get another look at it.
Yeah, you can see it here. Just no.
That's a different replay.
Shot,
but
yeah.
that was a good shot too.
It was. That kind of set it all up. Made the nice little roll away. The first one.
Thanks for joining us on Curling Stadium. I'm Dave Schmel, joined by Jim Nix. Gerry Gertz is being frustrated by the replay machine. And if you haven't had the opportunity, I know I'm going to sound like a broken record by the end of the weekend. Please give us a thumbs up. Like the video, subscribe. If you hit that subscribe button, it doesn't cost you anything. And that will help you to see more curling, help us bring you more curling. That's our mission, to make curling as accessible as any other sport out there. I mean, if you can watch cornhole on ESPN, why not curling? So why not let's get Curling Zone off and running and make curling the mainstream sport, because come on, we're better than cornhole.
I gotta believe it. I still haven't figured out where that name came from for that sport. It's an odd name. I think I'm gonna get by here.
Oh, they just do squeak by. Well, I did once play in a spiel, and was playing against a team that, well, for the sanctity of broomstacking, I'll just say it was a team that has competed in the United States at a high level, offered and was enjoying their broomstacking experience to the point where when our draw time came around, the skip instead offered to play cornhole against us rather than go on the ice. Looking to make this run on the one, back to the second, over the top of the one in the house. It's Grey Withers line 2. With a lot of real estate there.
Yeah, that was an odd outcome for that shot. It did set up a corner, though, that Kerri will be able to use a little bit as the end goes on here.
But with hammer is definitely a good spot for Grey Withers.
Yeah. Yeah, true enough. I had that backwards for a minute there. Sorry about that.
Well, you didn't have to cop to it. I was just trying to help you out subtly.
Yeah, no, you did good. You did good. I just had to take ownership.
Jim Nix, stand-up guy.
Yeah.
This one comes to rest. Pretty even with the one on the top. That'd be one heck of a thin double. So gonna try this long run through the house. Really, as long as you don't dead stuff it, it's fantastic. And ESPN had axe throwing the other day. You know what? That has more skill than you know what? I'm gonna get in trouble with the other sponsors of the other sports. Yeah. Yeah, axe throwing. Look at that double. Squeak it out the back. Sweep it all the way out. Yes, you do.
And they show a little more what we expect from Shannon Burchard for sure.
I mean, what is more intense, Jim, than throwing rocks at houses?
Well, can't be anything more riveting, I'm sure. We do it a lot. So been doing it for 50 years, so.
Which means you either really enjoy it or you're a very slow learner.
Yeah. Some days I think a little bit of both. Pretty good setup so far for Grey Withers.
Yeah, now I would expect them to, if not, it's a lot of distance to make the double, but the angle is such that you're going to get a good amount of kick on it. But at least you want to group the stones. So Sweeting going to catch a lot of this one. Head on over and just right over to it. Does lie shot stone, dead buried. And a little corner hooked and overlap. So that's a great result right there.
Yeah, it really is. It's perfect. For a little while, I thought maybe it wasn't going to curl enough. Kerri had it, sort of the hold on gang sign up here and just hits it perfectly. With that turn pretty flat. And ends up with shot rock. That's a great shot.
So this stone needs to go. It just doesn't have the weight right now. It's going to just nibble the rings. But Einarson has a bit of a get out of jail free card. So there you go. That's one option. And there's the other. So which do you like?
She's going to go open side. Well, maybe not. She's still talking about both. Val wants a little closer look at it.
Yeah. I think a really important part of this equation is that a play on the red stone that's currently shot is going to likely remove or at least kick out far enough that yellow stone that's lying second shot right now. So I think you can afford to be a little aggressive here. This is decidedly safe.
Yeah. I thought she might actually just come right around it.
So Val Sweeting with her second. Got to hold this one. Don't want to hit your own on the way by. Oh, you just squeak it. Is it going to spin up to be second shot? It is not, but they lie first and third.
Yeah, that was probably about as good as you're going to get out of that for Val. If she had maybe a touch center, might have ended up spinning in to be number two, which would have changed this shot, I'm sure. But Serena Grey Withers now will look to kind of get something going around the corner.
Yeah, that same stagger that was benefiting Einarson can certainly benefit the Alberta team. Gonna be tight to the guard. Weight looks pretty good. Look at that, just skinny on pass. Now drive it all the way home. Very well done. It is just a touch behind the tee line, though.
Yeah, it was going to be tough to get that in there above the tee line, but it would have been nice if it had been up above the tee. But excellent shot regardless.
So they're going to follow it down. Anything you can do, I can do better. A good look at knowing where the washrooms are at the Swift Current Curling Club. Kerri Einarson with her first here in the third. This weight looks really close. Gonna have to hold it for line and drive it home. Starting to dig in. Gonna get all the way past it to be shot, and you're gonna end up a little bit light. And just like that, one turns to an opportunity for three.
Yeah, it's going to depend a little bit on where Grey Withers puts this one for sure. She needs to keep this one above the tee line. Unfortunately for Kerri, that one she just threw blocks the path a little bit more to the yellow that she was trying to get to. But there's so much curl there, you could still certainly get over there and be in a position where it would be very difficult to remove. But she's going to go the other way. She's going to come around the other guard. I'm going to keep calling them guards. They're not really guards, but around the other rock in the 12-foot on the out-turn side. Good opportunity for Grey Withers, though, to maybe get at least a two here.
Yeah, the ice has been playing so well this weekend. We've seen many, many ends where I swear we were playing doubles with how tight the house has stayed.
Yeah.
So, Serena Grey Withers. Her first of the third. This has no shortage of weight. Coming down nicely. It's going to get all the way under. Ooh. Did he leave Kerri a way out here?
Yeah, I think she has a little bit at least. It's depends on which view we look at here. It's you have almost the full rock on the long view, if you will, and on the overhead, this overhead, you sort of see there's quite a bit of room there. She does have to hit it pretty thick to get near the other yellow, or even just to make the roll. But there's definitely an opportunity here to get out of this with a force, perhaps.
About half?
Yeah, maybe probably half or just a hair more with some weight.
Well, we know Einarson can deliver that. Her final stone of the third. Set that towards the center just a touch.
Yeah, she did.
This needs to come on over. Come on over. Will it come over enough? No, it just catches it. And only that first one.
Yeah, you pointed that out. You can see that very clearly that she was sliding a little tight of broom and just set it back a little bit, and a little bit fortunate she hit anything. She didn't hit much of it.
So, a draw to the 8-foot for a deuce for the squad from the U of A. Final stone of the third. She's got one in her pocket. Needs to grab just a little piece of the 8-foot. Brusher's just doing some heavy housekeeping. And this is no problem for the skipper. Hang 2 for yellow. It's 2-1 after 3. We'll be back from Swift Current. You're watching Curling Stadium.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Saskatchewan, you know Sasktel because we're everywhere. Because being everywhere keeps us connected to you. With Sasktel sponsorships, we get to be part of your community. We're here with you, and we're here for you. It's easy to get started. All you need to do is apply. Sasktel cares. Always has, always will. To apply for sponsorship, visit sasktel.com/sponsorships.
Welcome back to Swift Current Saskatchewan. It's the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. Brought to you by RBC Dominion, Aztec Safety, S3 Systems, Sasktel, Hardline, Asham, and Bumper to Bumper. I'm Dave Schmel, joined by Jim Nix, and all of you. We are happy to have you here with us on Curling Stadium. Thanks for watching. We really appreciate it. First stone goes through the house. Corner guard upcoming for Einarson.
Yeah, good deuce in the third end there for Team Grey Withers. They made a couple of good shots to set it up and then followed through with the draw for 2 on the last shot. And playing well.
Yeah, Einarson had a shot to get out of the end, but just a little bit off on the release and leaves us where we are. Karwacki's guard is in a pretty good spot. He's probably in the way of the draw path later, but that's a later problem.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard for those corners to not be in the way of the draw path nowadays if you can get them at the right depth, because the ice generally in most of the clubs that we've done games in Ice generally has a lot of final finish, and the finish doesn't really start much past the hog line, and so it's hard to do that. It's hard to put those stones where they're not going to be in the way.
I think that's why we see a lot of skips that prefer the double stacked corner.
Yeah. Yeah, keep one side open at least if you get into trouble.
And it gives you more to hide under. It's kind of being aggressive and conservative almost at the same time.
Yeah. Kerri beat a little disappointed with the last couple of ends. She had a double for a potential 3, which is again a shot that's right in her forte and built a resume off of. And then the last shot here was certainly not easy, but definitely had an opportunity to get out of that end without giving up the deuce. So shots that she would make more, well over half the time, just got away from her a little bit on those 2 ends.
Now, Karwacki's draw attempt does come a little bit behind the tee, so as you would expect, and draw down to it.
Yeah, Gray Brothers feeling a little better about things here with the 2-1 lead. So I'm going to play a little more aggressive shot versus just hit the red.
Definitely feeling better. They're off to a tough start in this spiel with losses to Schwaller and Brown to start things off to get them here in this C event. So looking to right the ship for sure. And this one needs to turn quickly. Put the blinker on. Put the blinker on and tap the brakes already. There, it got there.
Yeah, really solid sweeping to take that in. I was thinking of a couple ends ago, thinking about the sweeping now, and you just it's the players are so good and the front ends are so good that you just don't ever look at a game and say, oh, that team could use a little bit better sweeping. They're just virtually every team here has very, very good sweeping or brushing.
Still one of my favorite things as a curler here in the U.S. You tell somebody about curling. First question, are you a thrower or a broomer? I said, well, actually, I'm a yeller. This one curling up nicely. They're going to be happy with this result. It is great weather still with Shotstone, but now she has to play defense.
Yeah, no hesitation at all on this call either.
That surprises me somewhat that it wasn't at least. But
yeah, sometimes. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you got it. Something you know what she does, what she wants.
Yeah, and sometimes this situation you will see teams that will say, "Well, we're still going to come in there. We're going to corner the red and make sure that we set something up in that way." And I like this call. I like the location as well. Get it up there good and high.
It is a guard and it is high, and Einarson does not like it.
No, should be looking to get them both here and roll the shooter away. Then it gets a little tougher for Gray Withers if she makes this, because now all of a sudden you've only going to have the one guard. You sort of had the second guard helping you here a little bit on that shot.
So Burchard on the one, move the second one and slide it over. does definitely open up some real estate for Einarson to work with.
Yeah, you can see here Shannon just gets it a little bit on the outside, a little bit thinner than she would have liked to have gotten it. It worked out maybe a little better than she thought, at least when that one stayed there. It gave her something to work with for Grey Withers.
They're just basically looking to put it back here.
Yeah, just have to make sure it doesn't over curl on you.
Probably just a skosh deeper than they want it.
Yeah, I think so. It's close enough now that Kerri Einarson will look at running it straight back versus just peeling it off.
So Sweeting from the southpaw side. This is going to be really close to moving them all. 1, 2, 3. There they go. And you leave yours undercover. Fantastic shot, Val Sweeting.
Yeah, you can see she really gets this in a good spot. It almost over curled past where she'd like to be. I think she's probably trying to hit it on the nose, but still it worked out good. And her rock ends up staying in the corner of the sheet there, and force Grey Withers to play to come around probably.
All product of that guard being about 6 feet deeper than they would have liked.
Yeah.
That shot gets multitudes more difficult if it's 6 feet higher.
Got a lot of Grey Withers to work with here.
Absolutely. You mentioned the brushing. You see her all the way up on her tippy toes, getting all that pressure onto the broom head. And one thing I noticed, I'm going to use terrible terminology here, likely, Jim, but I've seen a lot more of the brushers moving to what that almost looks like a hop there on their tiptoes as they get towards the end.
Yeah, I don't know that I've noticed it much before this weekend, maybe a little bit last week, but yeah, it seems to be it's a bit of an odd sort of little bunny hop kind of thing that they do, particularly in the women's side, and it does look very odd, and I don't know if it's necessary or not, but it probably is if they want to keep the weight right up over the broom head, and if they want to get sort of straight in line with the rock.
Yeah, well, last week I noticed that Taylor Anderson was sweeping like that, and well, I know her coaches. They want to be teaching it if it's not effective.
Yeah.
And I curl with her father, so
yeah.
Certainly when it happened.
Yeah. Grey Withers sort of in that same situation where has to be careful here. It was a pretty good split by Val Sweeting. She didn't quite get I don't think, although it's possible it is on the rock at the very top of the 12-foot. I don't think she quite got it on, but she spread the other two out so far that there's no double opportunities for Grey Withers, and now she's going to be forced with coming around that guard and having to make a good one. It's good. I thought it looked like a lot of ice for a minute, but she cut it down. Get half buried around this yellow one and be number 2 would be a very good shot.
Jim, I always told my team to give me a high five after I made the shot.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I just was funny the things that catch your eye. I goes to that too. Thinking, well, they're sort of have the low five going, and I remember when, particularly the Europeans used to high five, and certainly here in Canada at least and it's going way back now, and everybody would think like, oh my God, what are they doing? Like, just so strange to see. And a lot of things come from Europe that we develop, and we don't really realize at the time that we did, including push brooms and how you handle the push brooms. A lot of that back a few years ago came from the Europeans doing that first. And even though we might have been better players at the time, some of the stuff that they did, we took on after a while, once we get over the fact that it wasn't ours.
Are you implying that many Canadians show a large sense of pride?
Yeah, I think that's a fair thing to say in terms of the game, and
I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Question here, Jim. Can Einarson see enough of them to kill them both? I think the answer is yes.
I think she can see enough. I just don't know if the one on the high one, I don't know if
jam.
If it doesn't jam.
Very, very interesting here.
If that shot of Grey Withers had been 2 feet lighter, it would have been perfect.
Look at the angles. You draw a straight line, 90-degree angle from that back yellow. It does look like it goes right to the red and might get underneath of it, but that's going to be very, very close.
Yeah. If she could get it to even go underneath enough that it would not stay right there, it would be a good result, because she'd still have 2 rocks in the rings counting.
If you catch it really thin, can you get it to go over the top?
Yeah, I don't think. The high yellow one, you mean, where she has her broom to go over top of the red one?
Yeah, because
no, I don't see that happening. I think there's a better chance of it going below it than there is above it. But there's a really good chance it goes right on it. So.
Oh, I say that's a high probability here, and that's definitely what they're concerned about. There's certainly probably one perfect place to hit the stone.
Yeah. So the question becomes, are you better off not trying to make the double here, playing it to go like 3/4 or 7/8 and go through the hole, have your shooter stay over on the other side and be number 2, 3, 4? I don't think most teams would ever do that. You'd like to move these both off of the 4-foot at least, but it would be one that would put a little bit of fear in the Grey Withers team.
Right, because Einarson likely is always going to have an opportunity to score here with that open side.
Yeah.
I definitely like your thought process. Here's Einarson with her first. Working to hold this. They like the line. It's really close, just past the guard. And you only pick the one over the top, and you know what? That might not be a bad outcome.
Yeah, I think it's a little less advantageous just because she was throwing to make the double, so she was throwing weight that she wasn't going to stay on that, but it looked like she had that. I thought she was going to at least make contact. So Grey Withers, a bit of a decision here. You can go for a straight centerline guard and try to steal one, or you can be a little bit more defensive and go right around, make sure you're number 2 and force to 1. Maybe still steal, but force to 1 at worst. And that looks like what she's doing. She's got less ice than she had a minute ago, which is a bit surprising, but she definitely wants to get at least partially buried with this rock.
You certainly can understand the thought process if you're ever off on the guard even a little bit. Einarson has likely a pretty straightforward shot for 3.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And I don't know if that stone is biting up top. It's probably pretty close.
Yeah.
So now we have, for lack of a better word, that bunny hop. But that's a little bit more conventional with the feet going back and forth. It's not one until you get right here at the end that it becomes like a 2-footed hop almost, like that.
Need to get this into the 8-foot though.
And they are third count. So it's a shot for 2.
Yeah, I think she's at least outcounted the one on the left on the overhead there, but Einarson should not have really had a shot at 2 here. Unfortunately, for Gray Wither, she just came up a little bit short on that one. Not an easy shot.
They weren't able to hop it far enough, Jim.
That's right, yeah. Yeah. Need to get a little straighter on there and get that hoppity hop, hippity hop thing going.
So the hip hop, the hippity hop, the hip hop hoppity hop. And that concludes the Dave Schmel Rap Hour.
Yeah.
Kerri Einarson, final stone of the 4th. This needs to come on over and hang around. Does it hang around enough? It clears it. Does it hang around? Yes, it does. There'll be a score of 2 for Kerri Einarson. They're going to check for 3, but I'm pretty sure it's just 2. And they take a 3-2 lead after 4. We'll be back from Swift Current right after this.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
For over 20 years, the Sandra Schmerler Foundation has granted more than $9 million to hospitals across Canada for life-saving equipment for premature and critically ill babies. In the past 4 years alone, $4 million has been granted thanks to the curling community's incredible generosity. The need continues year-round, and with your help, we can ensure every baby has the chance to grow up and become a champion, just like Sandra.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed? More innovation?
It's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Welcome back to Swift Current. Temperatures are hovering right around the freezing mark outside, but the action is hot here inside the ice shed. Dave Schmel and Jim Nix here with you, and Kerri Einarson was able to squeak out a deuce there.
Yeah, it was, big shot here for Einarson. Didn't quite get what she was looking for, but still managed to make it work. And her final shot made a nice little come around tap out for the two.
And they have the lead heading here into the second half. Gray Weathers' first draw attempt comes into the ring, so Karwacki is going to get to throw the hit here. Pass the guard, no problem. On the hit, roll over to the side of the rings. Does it spin back? No.
Yeah, opens the door a little bit for Gray Weathers by that one rolling out.
Yeah, it's a very long guard to be drawing around.
Yeah, it is. That's the guards they get out that far on this ice, and they don't really guard much other than the rock maybe at the top of the 12-foot, which maybe that's where she's trying to get to.
It is where the broom is placed, so. Right again, good buddy.
I'm learning.
Another 50 years of curling, you might have this stuff down.
Yeah, maybe.
That is a tight center, and now they have two guards up. Doesn't really matter that the one's the wrong color.
No, especially when it's protected by your own. It's not a good shot for Gray Weathers there. Not the preferred option for sure.
So now Einarson's going to come on in. See Burchard here back with the team, as everybody is happy to see.
Good shot by Shannon, but it is accessible for Withers, Gray Withers. Sixth stone now rather of the end, so she certainly could go to the peel as well, which I think I would highly recommend at this point myself, but she's going to play the freeze tap shot.
Thrower asked for a little less ice, did Lindsay Burgess.
Lindsay is the cousin of Carly Burgess, plays with Chelsea Kerri.
Team's rounded out by Catherine Clifford at third. And the most flavorful name in curling, Zoe Cinnamon at lead. That is going to just squeak by. I was going to say she was going to regret asking for less ice if she had wrecked.
I'll tell you, she actually got probably a half an inch inside roll there, which how would you ever believe that was possible?
That's one of those cardinal rules. If you're a second, if you ask for different ice and receive it from the skip, you better make it.
Yeah. It's interesting you mentioned Zoe Cinnamon. I think she must have a brother. I believe there's a Max, maybe Cinnamon, plays for the UA men's team. There can't be too many Cinnamons in the world.
Well, there aren't that many Schmels in the world either, and I guess some people are happy about that too.
Well, you wouldn't know it was cinnamon if you couldn't smell it.
Score one for Jim Nix. He has a 1-0 lead through the fifth end. Burgess with her stone on the way.
This one needs to curl hard.
It certainly does. I'll do you one better. A cousin of mine, obviously last name being Schmel, you either have a very miserable childhood or you grow up, knowing how to handle yourself, so to speak. So obviously my cousin Russ shares the same name, and he went into the mobile automobile detailing business. And he named his business Schmelly Clean Mobile Detailing. It's not clean unless it's Schmelly clean.
Yeah.
So there we go. We had some help from the chat there. Max Cinnamon is a part of Team Whip, who are representing Canada in the U21 World Championship in Italy. I will be there to see that, so I will get to see Max curl. I will be there supporting Team USA. A couple members of my home club are on that team.
When is that?
That is in April. April 11th.
Okay.
Through the 21st. They're running it as a long event just to give the venue a full testing before the Cortina Games.
Right, okay.
They could certainly complete the tournament much faster, but it'll be fun. Some members from our club are going, of course, as well as some of the parents. Cortina is going to be the curling capital of the world. For just a couple of weeks. It was interesting looking to get hotels because it being a ski resort, the weekend of that is when most of the hotels would close for the season.
Oh, okay.
And then finally, a few of them start to get the gist that there might be 10,000 people showing up.
Yeah.
And just maybe they should stay open for another week and make some more money.
Yeah.
This is going to be a high guard.
It's getting very complicated for the Grey Withers team, too. That hammer, I really feel that they maybe made a mistake a couple of shots ago in not opening this up. Even this shot is going to be probably not going to do much for you, really.
Yeah, drawing another one in here.
She has one, though. She's not... I don't know if I want to put it on the corner of this red, though.
Looking there in the long shot, you see the double stagger is lined up there, so
yeah,
nothing's going towards the 4-foot right now.
You're gonna not get it by.
Changes the geometry just a little bit, but there's opportunity here for Einarson if she elects to. She could try to get a little bit aggressive here. But right now, it's going to be really tough for Grey Withers to score deuce.
Yeah, that's the thing right now. It's exactly right. It's how hard do you want to push if you're Einarson? Like you could almost not throw any more rocks and probably steal one here by the time it's all done. So,
well, it'll be a force, but yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. But yeah, it's so how hard do you go? Where do you go with it? You come off this yellow maybe at the back if you can get enough curl and sit 2 or sit 1 or good second shot, another good second shot. I don't know.
Yeah, if you play that flat double, you almost kind of go around the world and you can probably move the shot stone. Now I'm talking like you're hitting off the one that's all the way off the wings onto the yellow and the 8 foot, and then it would come back up.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to see them throw it just because I want to see it.
Yeah.
But it's probably not the most advisable call. I'd like a draw on the outturn side and really lock it down.
Yeah, I like to draw on the outturn side as well. Just, you know, if you come right in, corner freeze the yellow, it's fine, and Grey Withers probably has to guard it, to be honest.
There's a good look at it right there.
Yeah. They may have to do something on the intern side, Dave, just because I think Grey Withers may be able to come around that and come off her own yellow and grab a little piece of the button for 2 with just a basically back 4 foot kind of weight, maybe back 8.
So, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, so you could draw in there, but I'd be afraid of giving them an angle, but do you ever just throw that with enough weight to kill it?
Yeah, basically that's all I think you're doing here. It's just enough weight to move it out and to give you a chance to just to get rid of it totally. Yeah, you could do that too. Then I don't know how Grey Withers scores more than 1.
Yeah, sometimes I think as skips we look for the perfect shot and we forget what's good enough.
Yeah.
So Sweeting's Rock is on the way in.
Pretty much.
It's just going to be a guard. I feel like they wanted that to be deeper, but it does the same job.
Yeah, I think they did. I think they did. I just think Val thought, well, I don't want to be heavy. If I end up there where it is, it's not bad.
Yeah, it's a pro side miss, that's for sure. An acceptable outcome as we like to coach the kids.
Yeah, I was searching for that in the memory banks. Couldn't quite find it.
The word that's not tolerance.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So they're playing some sort of a raise here. Must be thinking that if you can hit it perfectly, and probably right, if you can hit it absolutely perfectly with absolutely perfect weight, you might be able to get this straight back onto the corner of the button.
So Catherine Clifford, this needs to come on up to their stone. The line is really close. Got to get the raise. And now does it land in the right spot? Does it settle in? Oh, what a fine effort. I think it is still second shot. Great try there for sure.
Yeah, that was an amazing try. That shot scared me. I just thought, man, if this one doesn't curl enough for you, you might leave Einarson counting one by the time you're done. So the question is, does Kerri want to take on the yellow onto her own, onto the yellow, and B-shot rock?
I still think the safest way to play if you're Einarson here to try to steal. I still like my crazy off the wing shot.
Yeah, the around the horn shot. Yeah, you do know they don't hear you suggest that.
I know.
You need to talk louder on that one.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's an interesting idea. I think it's just too far over to be able to make it. It needs to be a little closer so that you don't have to throw it through the end of the building kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, first of all, if they had an intercom into all my thoughts, it would probably be a completely different show.
Yeah.
But you're correct. It wouldn't necessarily always be the right strategy.
Yeah. But on the other side of that is it doesn't, even if you gave it a go, if you think it is possible, physically possible to do, you don't have a lot to lose here. I don't think there's any way you ever take your own out, and that'd be really impossible, I think.
I don't think you do it. I don't think you take your own out without putting one back there. So
yeah.
But they're going to elect to probably just kind of draw around and clog it up some more. There it is.
Yeah.
Very high guard.
Guarding against that same raise that they played a minute ago. I still think if you're Gray Withers, though, you do have the outturn draw to the edge of the button. It's not easy, but it's no risk, and it's possible. You're just basically getting a slightly better than full 4-foot.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like we have tunnel vision right now, and we're only looking at the one side of the sheet.
Yeah.
The outturn side's lonely. It's going to have to go get it's going to get a complex somewhat counseling.
Yeah. I don't think they really didn't completely guard what they were thinking of. Gray Withers might be looking at the same shot that you were suggesting for Kerri Einarson.
Mm-hmm.
This not being her last shot. If this were her last shot, I don't think you play this. I think you play the draw. The draw just to me looks about 1,000 times easier than this shot.
So the idea is you catch about half that rock.
Yeah.
And then you're going to kiss off that yellow in the 8 foot behind the tee line.
Yeah.
And then from there, carom and gear up into the scoring area.
Yeah.
First of all, Gerry put a quarter in the replay machine. Oh, you see the warm room looking with bated breath.
Yeah.
They know something fancy's coming.
The lady in the gray sweater might be watching the broadcast, maybe.
Serena and Gray Withers looking to make some magic here. You catch a little bit of that outside, roll it. Oh, you didn't get up on top of it. You just did not catch enough of it.
Yeah, that was a really, really tough shot, and you're right. She did have to hit more of it for sure. I think for Gray Withers, that shot carried a little bit more risk than it did for Kerri Einarson, to be honest. So it's
Oh, I agree. I didn't like it for Gray Withers.
No.
But so happy I got to see it attempted.
Yeah.
But good news for Gray Withers, Einarson can't throw it now.
That's right.
But Einarson does have a couple options to sit too if she likes. I think that if you were to play that long center guard, well, you could at least sit one. I think that if you were to hit it, that center guard onto the next pair of guards, you could hit it in such a way to drag the yellow onto the red. They are basically frozen, so you hit it a little bit on the in-turn side, and which means you'll hit the next one on the out-turn side, and you should be able to drive that yellow into the red and move the shot stone off. Now, they're not trying that at all, but if you had to steal a point to save your life, that's how you would do it.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately for Gray Withers, I think that you force Kerri into a shot that's going to take your only shot away for two, or only real easy shot for two. If you can call a draw to the sliver of the button easy, you're going to be forced to maybe play that raise again that you played a couple of rocks ago, or throw it away, one of the two.
That's a good spot for Einarson. And Jim, I think you're right. I think that's all there is. They're sizing up the draw around without tripping on a rock.
Yeah, that draw's not there, I don't think. I don't know how they'd ever get by that outside one and without throwing far too much weight. I think your only shot is the out-turn tap on the yellow, if you're willing to give it a go, and
that's not without risk of its own.
No. Gray Withers third doesn't seem to want to have a lot to do with this one over here.
Yeah. I think Clifford is trying to speak discretion into the mind of her skipper. Oh.
Looks like they're going to try it.
Yep.
The high guard too is a problem. It doesn't, on the long view here, it doesn't look like it's necessarily in the way, but it is, because you can't really throw this too hard. You got to be really careful with this. You throw just enough weight to tap it to the tee line, so if it ever curls up and hits the red, it doesn't remove your stone.
And if they're throwing the raise, the raised rock is going to assume the other turn and actually curl towards the center.
Yeah.
So not a lot of room to work with.
No. That may actually help a little bit if you can hit it in the right spot. Just
sure.
Just slightly, but very difficult shot for Gray Withers. Hard shot even to commit to. This is the other part of the problem, but see what she does.
Final stone of the fifth. Trying to make this long, delicate tap back raise. Curl past the guard. No problem. Now you got to get up to the face. Now raise it and curl on in. Just does not have enough steam. It'll be a single point for Serena and Gray Withers. We're all tied up. Einarson has the hammer in 6 when we come back from Swift Current.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
In Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Welcome back here to Swift Current. And we got a good look here at the crowd gathered. Looking in the upper deck lounge here. Wall-to-wall people coming out to support curling here. And it was packed on the ice yesterday as well. And we're back here on our game Guard is up for Gray Withers. Einarson looking to come around. Had to really work hard to get this one around. Luckily for her, it does stop just short because that would have been a no-tick violation. I expect both teams to push it pretty hard here. And we have action all the way across the ice shed, don't we, Jim?
We do. So we've got, so far right now, we have Corinne Brown and Kayla McMillan tied up at 4 after 5 ends. Brown just got 3 in the 5th to tie that one up. Kate Cameron has a solid 5-1 lead over Delaney Strauss out of Traverse City, Michigan. Fujisawa up 4-2 on Inglot in a game that has a lot of viewers from all around the world. Our game, we know the score of our game, tied at 3. And the final one on the ice right now, Jolene Campbell leads Jenna Eng, I'm not sure how she says that, 4-1 after 6 ends of play in that one.
I think it's Engie, actually.
Engie? Okay. Good to know when I get her game numbers.
So Gray Withers there at the top of the button. Anderson's going to follow on down and stack for a little while here. Both teams are going to play aggressively here in the 6th in a tie game.
Yeah, 6th end really a pivotal end. It seems like every game we do, when you get to the 6th end, we talk about the fact it's a big end to score, and it almost inevitably is, regardless of how the game's going, unless it's obviously a solid one-way game for somebody. But if the game is close at all, the 6th end is a key end to score. It just gives you the advantage of having the ability to kind of control the scoreboard for the last couple of ends. So in a 3-3 game, it just means that much more if you can score here.
Good shot of this one, just curling around the guard. And look at that late finish. It's going to end up almost to the face. Nice angle, though. And you see that perfect double stagger set up again. So now Lindsay Burgess next to throw. And that's going to curl on up. Right up to the center line. It's a very high guard. Einarson's going to rip away now with the angle there. Try to get 2, maybe 3 to go here.
Yeah, it's not setting up good in the house there for Einarson right now, so she has to do something with this.
So Burchard looking to make a move. Bang, bang, bang. Move a good deal mile away. Roll to a corner. Definitely changes the complexion and the flavor of the rocks out front.
Yeah, the high red one's still there, so that's certainly one that's Gray Withers can take advantage of when she throws this guard. She doesn't have to be quite as perfect as we talked about before. So, but it is very, very high as well, so it doesn't really cause any troubles on the last shot for Einarson.
Second one from Burgess. This one's put on the blinker. It's taking a hard right. Right to the right spot. Now you see the shot call here, thinking bumper weight. But electing to clean up instead. Do you like this, Jim?
Yeah, I think I do. Yeah, I think you got to move these rocks, and
So, second peel coming from Richard takes care of that. Now decidedly more wide open.
Yeah, it's interesting here. Great Withers could easily play the hit here on the red and just roll over in the wings and maybe get a force that way. But she recognizes as well 6th end is a big end, as we said, to score. So even if Kerri's forced to 1, she's still in a pretty good position from a gameplay point of view.
The guard from Clifford. Covers the Einarson rack, doesn't cover the Gray Withers rack. Now we're going to go to that bumper weight shot. Imagine what hit almost as much of this as you can see.
Yeah, I think you have to for sure. She looked for a bumper weight on this shot, it looks like. There's a trouble with that guard. She kind of had to throw it if she's going to play that way at all, but it was hard because you had to kind of guard both shots. You had to guard this pick, but you had to guard the little red on yellow rock as well.
Off and on. This is extremely close. Get that last little bit of curl. Get the hit. Does it stick around? Stick around in the corner. Last little corkscrew back. No, it's off the rings.
It's a big sweep there by Gray Withers. That was a big shot to have. If it had stayed in, would have been significantly worse.
Now Clifford on cleanup duty here. Looking for the short run.
That's good.
Makes no mistake. Rolls open, but that's not necessarily terrible because Einarson has to address it.
Yeah, you're right. If it had to come up just another half an inch, it would have actually just stuck it in there pretty good, which would have been great for Gray Withers, but she won't be terribly unhappy with that. That was not a real short run back. It had to, go 10 feet or so, so good effort.
So Sweeting looking for the hit and roll. They're going to have to hold it really hard. Oh, they jam it. Fortunate to clear it. Now we have an open house again. Gray Withers can just come on in. Trying to find the right ice. It's been a minute since she's thrown a draw. Had that large upweight shot for her first in the 5th end, and then that raise attempt where the weight wasn't 100% right. Wasn't since the draw to the 8-foot in the 2nd end where she had just a clean draw to make.
Good situation for Gerry Withers here. Get a chance to put one on the maybe full 4-foot buried.
Oops. Working to carve this one over. This one needs to stop. Find the breaks. It found them, but it's in the back 8.
Yeah, not the preferred result for sure.
Now Einarson's going to try to go for the old skipper's deuce.
Yeah, same idea here. You just go throw this into top of the 4-foot above the tee line, and you may force Gerry Withers into playing the run back.
Kerri Einarson with her first. Not wanting any part of this one either. Now she has the benefit of backing. Don't really want to use it though. Try to get underneath. It is digging in nicely. And good patience and good read by the brushers there.
Yeah, I think they managed that to get absolutely everything they could get out of it. There's probably enough there that Gerry Withers can remove it without playing the run back.
You can see there it's about a third, but then the question will be, will Einarson take one or attempt to blank? Because it's going to be tough for Gerry Withers to hang around.
Yeah, I think she's throwing this a little bit down for weight, but she's still going to have to hit half or a little more of that stone to be able to save it.
So big shot here. Make the takeout. That's step 1, priority 1. Step 2, try to hold this shooter on somehow. Gerry Withers with her final, the 6th. Haven't laid a brush to it yet. Now we got to try to carve it over. This has got to go to even get there. Will you even get a little slice? Oh, you got a little slice. Is it enough to get it out? Oh, no, it's not. It's hanging on in the back.
Yeah, big miss there for Gerry Withers. This is not a gimme for Kerri, but certainly a shot that she'd be expect her to make. I think they just were a little bit late. I know sometimes you got to wait a little bit on the carving, but it just seemed a little bit late there. I thought they might try to get on that a little bit sooner. Wouldn't have taken much. It just needed to get another 1/4 inch of the rock, and it would have went out.
There's definitely a school of thought out there that, you know, the weight has to get down to a certain amount for the carving to really be effective. But yeah, just set it out just a hair on the release, and that's all it took. So now big opportunity for Kerri Einarson. Final stone of the 6th. Hit and stay for 2.
This one's got to come along ways too.
This weight's a lot further down though.
Yeah.
It's going to come. Will it hang on? Will it hang on? Really close in the back. Oh, it slides out. And it's a single point for Kerri Einarson. She leads 4-3. Gerry Withers with the hammer in 7 when we come back on Curling Stadium.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
Welcome back to Swift Current. It's the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. Brought to you here on Curling Stadium. Happy to have you with us here. I'm Dave Schmel. I'm joined by my good friend Jim Nix, and just a couple of relatively, I don't want to call them easy, but very makeable shots for skips of this level missed there in the last end.
Yeah, I think they were pretty easy. I think you were right the first time. It just, skips have come through a lot in this game, but they just were a little bit sloppy there at the end, and probably the end result was what should have been the result. Kerri Einarson did get one, but both skips had a chance to play draws that would have been set up a potential steal or set up a potential two and missed them, but then the relatively easy hits were missed as well. So odd finish to that end.
All right, and as we go here, and Gerry has a hot mic. We see the draw on in there by Einarson.
So for Gray Withers here, it's, in a perfect world, she'd be able to blank this end, but that rarely goes that way. So her plan B, her best next choice is to get two. One is the one amount that you don't want to get here.
And if you're Einarson, you're quite happy to force here. All this has to get by the guard. Oh, it just does.
Just does. I'm going to chip this out, actually. Maybe. No, a little light for that.
Just about 1,200 of you watching right now on Curling Zone on our YouTube channel. We thank you so much for joining us. It's our pleasure to provide curling coverage to you all season long from all over the world. So just if you could do us a favor and hit that thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, helps out the algorithm, which makes it possible for us to provide you even more curling. That's what we want to do. We want to make curling as mainstream as possible, and we're happy to do it. And we're thankful for all of you who support us. This rock coming in for Einarson. Needs to find the breaks. It does right there in the full forward top button. So the question is, where do you come from here?
Yeah, this is a little bit of a challenge here. I think there's enough room to actually move the red out. Hit a half a stone, move it right out past your yellows. Needs to curl, though.
It is going to curl to do that.
Not going to quite get there, I don't think.
It's going to get to the back one.
Yeah, it's not a helpful shot for Lindsay. Kerri Einarson now has her in big trouble, I think.
I'd be inclined to agree. It's might be time for very soon for Serena to consider hitting the abort button here and trying to find her way back to a blank end.
Yeah, if Shannon Bircher puts this one in the top of the 8-foot behind that guard, you're going to have to make something else happen. Guard's a little high for running back, but it's definitely usable.
Still have 5 stones to come if you're Gray Withers, so you have an opportunity and at least the material to move it. That's a great shot by Shannon. And here we go. We are going to start running them. So Burgess will be the first.
Pretty much have to try to make contact with something in the house on this shot as well. It can't be just a straight peel.
Needs to curl up, and it's just going to be that straight peel. Nothing wrong with just putting it right back. Gray Withers has tipped her hand, and Einarson knows that that's what the plan is. Time to try to foil it.
Bit deeper.
A little bit deeper and a little bit of an angle. A little better to run. Or she might take him on directly.
Yeah, could quite possibly get rid of 2 here. At least 2.
Yeah, hit off the top. There's 2. Yeah. A little lucky, get them all.
Yeah, you just don't want to catch a piece of the high one on the way by. If you're going to do that, then you're better off playing it. But
well, in that case, be better off not to do that. Catherine Clifford on the way down, needs to clean things up. Here we go. There goes 1, 2, 3. You touched them all, but you got 2 of them to go, and that's 1,000% better.
Yeah, that's a very, very good shot. You can see it here. Just barely sneaks by the guard when they get down. You get the inside sweeper holding it straight and just skinnies the guard by an inch or so and does all she could do. So, still Einarson still got shot rock in the 4-foot area, but you've got number 2, number 3, number 4. So, bit of a miss here by Einarson could leave her in a big hole.
How important those hits are in the modern game. Now this one has all the weight. Now it just needs to curl. Needs to curl a long, long way. And you didn't want to do that.
No, that's a massive miss by Val Sweeting. That's supposed to be basically a T-line draw and threw it to the back line for sure. Pretty easy hit to sit 3 for Gray Withers, and Trying to decide whether or not to try to roll a little inside or a little outside. You can't, not going to roll a whole lot either way because you don't want to jam it on one of the yellows.
Yeah, there's definitely benefits to both. I mean, if you roll in, you're probably going to elicit the chase or maybe a follow down.
Yeah.
You roll out, you might elicit some sort of upweight response to try to remove a few of these stones.
Yeah, I think if you roll out, depending on what Kerri's going to do. So if you assume you roll out a little bit and Kerri plays and makes the double, then if you choose, you could come around the guard and sit pretty good, or you could play the hit and roll back. If you roll in and you make it really good, you probably force Einarson to play the freeze, and if she makes it, then your whole hand's over. So I think I'd be leaning towards playing the roll to the outside. I don't know that she is, but I think that's where I would be going. If I'm happy with 2, as long as you're happy with getting 2 and not 3 necessarily. Inside would give you a better chance at 3, provided Kerri Einarson leaves you an out after her first shot.
So here's the last of the 7th from Clifford. This one's a little bit on the outside for their taste. They jam the one in the back. And lie 2-eye.
Yeah, not terrible. A lot of weight, though, on that shot. I didn't think she'd throw that hard. But Einarson's going to draw anyway, so...
Yeah, there's a double available over there on the side, but, that stone is number 4 right now.
Yeah, and the yellows roll far enough that the problem, if Kerri makes the double, whichever way she chooses to make the double there, is, Grey Withers is coming around. If she comes to the top of the 4-foot, you're not going to have a lot available to you to get out of this end,
So, got to freeze on down to try to take the end away here. Kerri Einarson with her first here and end number 7. They're on this hard for weight. They're going to have to worry about the line in a second. This needs to go. Gotta go. We gotta be deep enough. And your shot stone, I just don't know if that's far enough, Jim.
No, I think in this particular case it's not. This is one of the rare times when you're coming around a guard like that where you say, look, I actually would like to be on the back one. I just need to mostly take away a multiple score here rather than trying real hard to steal. So for me anyways, that would be my thinking. If I go right to the back one, then I'm in good shape. I'm out of any big trouble, and worst case scenario, I get 2 of them down, 1 coming home with. But it's not an easy hit for Grey Withers. It has to be, but you can see half, and in this league, half should be enough.
So Serena Grey Withers looking to pick this one out. Probably hoping to stay around. Her first of the 7th. This one needs to curl a long way. This is out there and not coming back. It is going to just kiss it and push it under cover. Disastrous outcome there.
Yeah, it truly is. It's pretty disastrous, even if it didn't touch the rock. But you see this go down. Burgess trying everything she can to make it curl. Just can't quite get it there. Just needed to be a little bit closer on the broom, I assume. She must have been a little bit wide on that. Einarson now all of a sudden in a great position.
And Jim, I like your shot. I like coming around. I like coming around the out turn, down to the one in the back, put the force on hard all day right now.
Yeah.
Although the force is probably on right now regardless.
Well, yeah, it really is. It's not, there's no way Grey Withers is going to take on the run back. If Kerri leaves her the 4 foot to draw to.
So we're going to take away one of the draws here.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry.
And she's going to have to go on that out turn side, which has been getting cold for quite some time now.
Yeah.
See where this comes down. It's got plenty of room for sure. You're seeing stones just hang right there. That's... Don't want to go too deep. Oh, did you let her... Oh, did you ever just give her a double for 2?
She might have. If she had gone a couple feet further, she would have given her a much easier draw, but I don't...
I think that's the one. I think that's the one spot you couldn't put it.
Yeah. Play the hit on the one that Kerri just threw, and then just play it as tight as you can possibly play it. And you might push the red out far enough to be number 3, so you could be sitting 2 after this. Unless she's trying to make the double the other way, but
you can make ways. I think it's actually easier this way.
Yeah, where you're just going to hit the red really thin.
Yeah. Well, hit this object stone hard, and it just kind of nudges it out the side. It doesn't have to move far.
No.
So final stone of the 7th end.
You can barely see it though. That's the only thing for me. I'd like to try to come off the one where the broom is, and maybe she.
Oh no, that's what I want to do.
Okay,
for sure.
Maybe that's what she's playing. It just looks, from what the broom is and the way they're holding it, it looks like she's trying to hit it real thin. But
yeah, final stone of the 7th end. Unexpected opportunity to score 2. Serena Grey Withers needs to convert this here. Needs to curl up just a hair. Past the guard. Over it. Move it over. Yes. Is that 2? It's 1 for sure.
Looks like 2.
Oh, I think it's a deuce, but we're probably going to grab the stick for this one.
That's a great throw either way. It's couldn't have really thrown it any better. She hit it about as thin as she could hit it. I'm going to see it here. So she's trying to just hit the red one on the left and just come back and just nudge the other red out far enough. And great effort, great shot. Looks to me like it's going to be for 2, but taking a little while to get to the measuring stick. Probably hang in here till we finish the measure.
Oh, I don't want to go anywhere.
No.
Okay, so put your thoughts in the chat as to what it is. 737 curling zone bonus points are at stake. They are of unspeakable value. That's unspeakable value is 0.
But you do have the chance to tell your friends that you did win 737 bonus points.
Yeah, I mean, they're very valuable. So we're on the yellow.
In this world of points, that has to be worth something.
Now let's check out the red. And it is indeed a deuce. So fantastic shot for Serena Grey Withers. She takes 2 in 7. Einarson will have the hammer, trailing by 1 when we come back. You're watching Curling Stadium.
stronger agronomics, better returns, greater peace of mind from pre-seed to post-harvest. You can count on the Victory Canola program to keep you.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Sasktel Be Kind Online wants to stop cyberbullying. Want in on the action? We award up to $1,000 for youth initiatives that help spread kindness and prevent bullying. What great idea do you have to help stop bullying? Sasktel can help. Go to BeKindOnline.com and apply for a grant today. Together, we can make a difference.
Welcome back to the 8th end. It's the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. Dave Schmel and Jim Nix joining you here. A big deuce for Serena. Great Withers there in the 8th.
Yeah, great final shot by Grey Withers. It's didn't have a lot of room to work with. Got left with a bit of a gift for Anderson's team when the rock stopped where it did, but tough one to sweep. 3 more inches, and that's not possible, and possible steal even then, but that's not what happened. And Grey Withers came through with a big time shot to score her deuce.
Absolutely. We were going through and we were trying to figure out if there's any other worse place in the sheet for that rock to end up, and sometimes it just happens, and you get tunnel vision. You want so much of the shot that you need, but you forget what you just can't do.
Yeah.
So Grey Withers takes that. But with that said, Einarson has the hammer coming home. That's, down 1. That's a good place to be.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
And to our friend in the chat, Kevin, who correctly called the measure, congratulations on winning 823 curling zone bonus points. They'll be in the Canada Post, and you'll get them sometime.
Well, I hear the strike is over, so I think they might.
Oh, the strike is over? Well, congratulations. Oh, congratulations to my northern friends. Now I can actually mail you that Christmas card.
And you just on kindness of your heart, you offered up even more bonus points a second time, so that's good.
Well, yeah, I'm a giver. That's what I campaigned on. I want a chicken in every pot and bonus points in everyone's wallet. So Karwacki trying to build a bonus for her team and draw on down. Want to get all the way up to this one. And they will.
Yeah, very nice shot for Kristen.
Plenty of time for Einarson to try to build that deuce here. We'll see if the two teams are cursed by Dave Extra and Schmel again. So Burgess, one thing I noticed about her delivery is very consistent, even whether it's a draw or a hit. Always a positive release right out to the broom. I think that's a important thing. If curlers are if you're gonna have that be a part of your release, it shouldn't just be a part of your hits. It should be a part of every shot.
Yeah.
So you don't have two different deliveries. I mean, it's tough enough to learn one. Anderson doesn't like this one. So Burchard looking to open things up here. They get the straight peel, leave a corner guard.
Yeah, it's a pretty good result. Does have a couple of corner guards. Well,
And you see another good example of what I was talking about, just the forward motion right toward the broom. Not really an ad, but it's just deliberately placed on the broom.
yeah, the extensions, the little extension that we talked about a few years ago has become significantly bigger extension in many cases, but soften the delivery, then extend it out just to get theoretically a little better feel. And
now we have the double peel upcoming. Burchard trying to get this one to curl over. It looks like it might stuff right now, and it does.
getting a little bit messy for Einarson here.
So what point, Jim, do you decide that, I need to make sure I can get one and get to an extra?
Yeah, certainly not yet, but you're getting close to that fact for sure. It's you got to hang into the possibility of getting two as long as you can if you're going to use the analytics tell us you're not going to win very often in trying to steal the extra end. So I think you'll hang in a little bit here, but the red one's close enough to the yellow that getting one should be not too tough. But if they make a lot of good guards here, it's not going to be necessarily easy. I think you've got to kind of run here, and at some point you might run it straight back, try to remove the yellow using your own rock there. So it'll be interesting next few rocks.
Now we see this side of the sheet providing a lot of late finish. The intern side coming home, whereas we saw rocks hang just a touch on the intern side going the other way.
Yeah. Kerri called a multiple choice peel here. I think if I was sure I'd be trying to peel the top yellow as we look at it in the overhead. Peel the top yellow over the top, if you will, of the other yellow, which means basically to drive the second yellow towards the red one. You have to get some of this stuff out of the way so you can maybe use one of these corners or something. It's not going to do that, but might make the other. No.
Leaves it not too different from when they started.
No.
Now another guard's going to come up. And we can add that to the list of Nick's-isms. Multiple choice peel.
Yeah.
Your Jimism of the day.
Yeah, I don't know if I love that shot, though. I like that one to be a little bit more firm as to what you're trying to do, because at the end of the outcome on that really wasn't very good for Kerri, and I think it could have been better. This card's got to be in exactly the right place too, though. Probably going to overcurl by the look of it.
That's almost going to stop in time, but now you're going to run these straight back.
Yeah, the complexion of this end should change after Val Sweeting's second shot here. It's not a very difficult run back, and very easily could put the red right behind the guards.
Stone on the way from Sweeting. Bang, bang, bang. Yes, indeed. And now they lie one. But Opportunity back for Gray Withers, Jim.
Yeah, wrong side on that one. She needed to get it going the other way, and Gray Withers now with an opportunity to see. You'll see this here when it comes down. It really needs to get to the other side of the red one. So a little more straight back is what I'm thinking. Didn't quite get there. Didn't really go left, but it didn't go anywhere.
So we're now on Skip's first stone.
Well, great situation for Gray Withers. She can make this a little roll. Kerri wouldn't really be able to draw to it, and as long as you don't roll too far, the trick is to roll about a foot here, maybe a foot and a bit. Be a tough shot for Kerri to position somewhere which would allow her to get her deuce. We're getting closer to an extra end here all the time.
Trying to move this one over. It's going to get up to the nose, not going to cross the face. Probably one more chance for Einarson to go for the deuce here.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Got to make this one if you're ever going to have a chance to win it here.
Keep the weight down on this and give it a chance to curl.
Kerri Einarson. She trails one with hammer. This is her first in the eighth. Got to make this hit and tuck under cover to leave that chance for a deuce. This is going to find all the curl it needs. Will it find too much curl? It just may. No, it gets a perfect kiss. Great shot by Kerri there when she needed one.
Yeah, perfect shot. She threw the perfect weight on that, threw like 11.5 or something like that, and it was allowed it to make that curl. Kind of the shot that Gray Withers needed one shot before this. Difficult now for Gray Withers for the same reason I said before would have been difficult for Einarson. It's difficult now for Gray Withers to put this in a place where Kerri cannot remove it for two. Come right around everything is the best option. Come right around the long guard and come around the red one. Because you have to be shot rock, obviously. It's plan one. And you could make it very tough on Einarson, if not impossible.
Yep, you got to bury as far around as you possibly can.
Yeah.
I would say even like the back four is probably ideal. So if you're too close in that red, you can still see a little sliver of yellow peeking out. I wouldn't be surprised to see Einarson try a run for the win in that case. So huge shot for Serena Gray Withers. This is her last in the eighth. Got to draw the four. Got to be buried. Burgess and Cinnamon on the sweep. This has got some curling to do. Also needs to slow down, I think. Line's looking really good now. Can you drive it all the way under? Get past the guard. Past the guard now. Stop. Stop. And it is shot rock. It is marginally undercover. The question is, can Kerri Einarson see enough of it? Great effort by Serena Gray Withers there.
Yeah, I think that was just a terrific shot. I think that she threw it really well. Obviously, had the perfect weight. Sweepers did a great job of. They didn't have a lot of room to work with, the sweepers here. I mean, they need to get it underneath the guards as best they can as well, and they can't afford to sweep at another rock, or it's not even shot. So, a really good job. They're really the best you could do there. It's as buried as you were going to get it, and Kerri Einarson can't see it from the other end, so she's going to be pretty delicate with this. She has to throw basically pretty much the same shot that Gray Withers just threw, with one more foot of weight. Probably doesn't even need that. Sweepers can probably make that up for her.
So Kerri Einarson, with her final stone, facing a loss, shooting for the win. Gonna throw a little downweight shot here. Remove that yellow. On it hard for the line. This is going to be tight to the guard. It needs to be. Slide past it. Now, did you overcook it? Got to get enough to hang around. Push it back and hang around. Yes, you do. And that's a score of 2 for the win for Kerri Einarson. The 4-time Scotties champion comes through and will continue on in the C event here at the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. Jim, what a shot.
Yeah, great shot. Very exciting game. Kerri Einarson, we talk about Kerri being a shot maker, and that's kind of what she does. She just, threw a very tough shot, made it look pretty easy. She has the ability to throw all the weights and all the shots, and a good win for Einarson. And a tough loss for Gray Withers. They deserved a better fate in that one. But unfortunately, you're playing one of the best teams in the world there, and she just came through at the end.
And that's going to wrap it up for now. But keep it here with us. In just 45 minutes, we have 4 featured games coming up for you. So grab yourself a bite to eat, grab yourself your favorite beverage, and settle in. It's going to be great action all weekend here on Curling Stadium. But right now, for Jim Nix and Gerry Gertz back in our studios, I'm Dave Schmel. Thank you so much for watching Curling Stadium and the Stadium Sports Network.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's Ice Bat has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.